man, what a great day to be reviewing video games. I wonder what video game we're going to be reviewing today.
Where'd I go wrong? I thought I had it made. I was reviewing anime games and other video games. Is this where my life has come to? Reviewing DLC? Have I sunk that low?
No. It doesn't matter if it's DLC. I need to review video games and tell people what they're about and show them how good or bad it might be. Alright. Plague of Shadows is a go. As my horrific opening skit stated, Plague of Shadows is DLC for Shovel Knight, but besides level aesthetics and bosses, Plague of Shadows is an entirely new game with new level design, story, weapons, items, and a knight who controls nothing like the eponymous Shovel Knight. Plague of Shadows as a video game can be compared to something like Infamous First Light and Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Its gameplay roughly the same and use many of the same assets, but you could still get away with calling them their own games. The story of Plague of Shadows is Plague Knight seeks the ultimate potion in order to gain ultimate power, and must collect the essences of the Knights of the Order of No Quarter, and he and his partner Mona must create it with the essences. The most unique part of the story is that it parallels Shovel Knight's almost to a T. Plague of Shadows is a prequel and a reiteration of Shovel Knight. And the way they show this off is Plague Knight will go through levels finding the relics that Shovel Knight uses, and he trades them in with Chester the Merchant, who will give Plague Knight his own relics. What really sells Plague of Shadows' story is the amount of character development bosses and NPCs get. Before in Shovel Knight, all of the bosses had a generic bad guy response, but the knights interact with Plague Knight showing a little more of their personalities. Some of them amused, some annoyed, and others hating him for betraying the Order, and Plague Knight usually has a witty rebuttal. Plague Knight, however, is a character who can be hard to enjoy. Well, yes, he is a member of the hostile group of knights terrorizing the valley. They're technically his allies, and his goal isn't less noble than his fellow knights. However, without spoiling anything, by the end of the game, I no longer resented playing as Plague Knight, with his low-life scum personality slowly warming up to me with the sympathetic parts of his personality. Now, the gameplay is still the same from Shovel Knight. You need to traverse levels, avoiding obstacles, collecting treasures, and defeating the many bosses that stand in your way. Well, on one hand, you could and can still easily compare Shovel Knight to Scrooge McDuck and Mega Man. Plague Knight is harder to find a character to compare him to. And it might not be a stretch to say that Plague Knight has the most originality to his character and gameplay than most platformer characters these days. Plague Knight is able to throw bombs at enemies, is able to double jump, and after holding down the attack button can jump higher from an explosion. Not only that, he has less health than Shovel Knight, and is smaller than him, and also moves slower, and is very slightly has butter under his feet when he turns. These differences in control are what lead me to believe that Plague Knight is an antithesis to Shovel Knight. While Shovel Knight relies on getting into enemy spaces and swiping his shovel until they're defeated, Plague Knight stays away from his enemies, hitting them with a barrage of bombs. Though, as a result, it makes most of the bosses a total cakewalk, since Plague Knight is such an offensive-based character. To go further on that tangent, Shovel Knight is a character whose capabilities rely more on platforming and falls short on combat, while Plague Knight is a far more capable knight when it comes to attacking his foes. Platforming is where he's less than worthy when compared to the Cerulean Knight. However, that is a double-edged sword. Unlike a game like Mega Man 9 and 10, where you have characters such as Proto Man and Bass, who play differently but are still the same as Mega Man and can tackle the same level design, Plague Knight can't tackle the same precise platforming Shovel Knight can. His double jump doesn't provide much vertical distance, so the only way to get anywhere with jumping is by using an explosion jump. It is not the most reliable jump in the world, and can be finicky at times due to how long it takes to charge the explosion. In my opinion, I think it would have been better for the explosion jump to have its own button and meter that charges after you use the explosion jump. However, these issues aren't a problem when a game is designed around that character's gameplay. Well, the problem Plague of Shadows has is level design. At the beginning, you could tell that they were designed to cater to Plague Knight's style of control, and those beginning levels are some of the best parts of the game, and it was pretty damn satisfying taking down bosses so easily.
However, once you beat Mole Knight, Treasure Knight, and Spoiler Knight, you will discover a nightmare for our Plague Knight. While the stranded ship isn't so bad besides the vomiting rainbow statues serving no purpose, unless I'm doing something wrong, Clockwork Tower, the Flying Machine, and the Tower of Fate will make you tear your hair out. Especially the auto-scrolling section and the Gale sections. These 3 levels are not catered to Plague Knight, and in many ways, I am goddamn annoyed by how dickish the levels felt. To give you a perspective, I died countless times on the Tower of Fate's auto-scrolling level as Plague Knight, and when I played the level as Shovel Knight, I beat it in 1 try. And to let you all know, I had only played that auto-scrolling level once before. Fucking once. And I beat it. And for the love of God, the secret areas are goddamn unforgiving. Especially Propeller Knight's secret area. I mean, look at this! I entered the stage with 15,000 gold, and I left it with 3,000. I know I should expect Shovel Knight to be a hard game, but since stage 1, Shovel Knight was about the player utilizing his abilities to tackle levels in new and unique ways. But in Plague Knight, I'm utilizing my abilities. But the level don't give a shit. Now, despite all of that, is the game still worth your money? Yes. Yes, it is.
But Sombrero, you just went on a rant exposing Plague of Shadow's flaws. Why should we buy this after you said all that?
Why are you here? And yes, I did say the level design worked against the player, but at the end of the day, Plague of Shadows is a fresh and interesting take of Shovel Knight, which already in itself was a fresh and interesting take of the platforming genre. It will catch players who are mainly familiar with Shovel Knight off guard and give them a new perspective of the game. While the level design of the later levels isn't designed around Plague Knight, I still believe this game is worth the price of admission of absolutely nothing. Yes, this game is completely and utterly free. And every system Shovel Knight is on will automatically get this game. So what are you waiting for? Go and play this game. Oh yeah, I should talk about the PS4 exclusive content Shovel Knight has, aka the Kratos battle. After you find a little secret area in the Hall of Champions, you'll find Kratos wandering the map. The justification for this battle is Kratos thinks Shovel Knight is a warrior Athena sent him to fight. Kratos can be hard, and I think he's the hardest of the wandering boss battles with his 3 health bars, and especially the last segment where you have to fight him while avoiding the bottomless pit. Your reward for defeating Kratos is the Gravedigger's armor. Dual shovel blades, a charge down attack, and going to a rage state when you absorb red orbs from defeating enemies. The armor's alright, but the down attack shouldn't be used for precise platforming, it's mainly for combat. I don't know how to end this video. Go play Shovel Knight.